name's Anthony Soria, and I smoke weed on the weekends just like Jack Herer. But before Jack Herer was a popular strain of marijuana, Jack was a civil rights activist who advocated for the legalization of the plant. He was born in Buffalo, New York, and lived a pretty normal life until his dad died when he was in high school. Jack went from high school dropout to one of the most well-respected weed advocates in the world, and it's for that reason I think we should look at what he's done for his field and what he's accomplished. As a fellow advocate, I was so stoked to get to learn more about Jack because I've heard his name on multiple occasions, but I've never really looked into the lengths of which he's gone. So today, I'm going to tell you about Jack Herer and his friendship with Ed Adair, then go into Jack Herer's biggest book, The Emperor Wears No Clothes, and wrap it up by talking about what Jack has done since releasing his book. So now that you're strapped in, let's get right into Jack Herer and his friendship with Ed Adair. When Jack was first starting out with this pro-legalization movement, he had a very hard time finding anybody to be on his side, but one man, Ed Adair, believed him. The two of them met in 1979 and became best friends like this. Later the same year, they opened up a pop-up shop in Venice Beach, California, where they sold hemp brand products, and they told everybody who walked by the many uses of hemp. It can be used for food, fuel, biofuel, clothes, and almost anything in between. It is said about the pair and Jack Herer, Emperor of Hemp, that they could not stop to buy a hot dog without sharing the news. One of the other big things the pair did was find a government-made video called Hemp for Victory. Hemp for Victory was made by the U.S. Department of Agriculture in 1942, and it was convincing farmers to grow outlawed hemp plants to support the war efforts. Pretty much, Jack Herer and Ed Adair were a super team when it came to legalization hemp and marijuana plants, but most of their following came from Jack Herer's biggest book, The Emperor Wears No Clothes. The Emperor Wears No Clothes would go on to sell 600,000 copies, and it's about 300 pages long, entirely on the many benefits and uses of the hemp and marijuana plants. It goes into detail about how using hemp can save our forests, save our climate change, save almost any issue we've had up to this point. It's a very, very in-depth book that has informed over 600,000 people about what hemp can do for us, and it was a very driving force behind the legalization movement. After releasing the book, Jack Herer did not get legalization started. Weed is not legal. He is not done. What he's done after, he got big friends with some guy named Steve Hager. Steve Hager is the editor of High Times in the 80s, and the High Times is just a magazine about weed-related articles. So Steve Hager would have on Jack Herer once a month, once every other month, to do an article about the benefits of hemp plants and the products that you can get from it. And this would be put in an article and sent out across the country to millions of readers every other month. So Jack had a constant addition of new people to his cause. The final thing that Jack did for the cause was one day he won an award for achievement in the field of citizen action, and he accepted the award in a hemp suit. This is like the most baller thing a person can do. He won an award and accepted it in a hemp suit, which is what he was lobbying for. It's like, I don't have a good example off the top of my head, but I think that just shows the character of Jack Herer. So now that I've talked about all the things that Jack Herer has done, I just want to reinstate that Jack Herer is a get-it-done, persistent type of guy who would have stopped at nothing to get weed legalized. Now that I've talked about the friendship of Jack Herer and Ed Adair, Jack Herer's biggest book, The Emperor Wears No Clothes, and what Jack has done after the book, I think you too can recognize what Jack Herer has done for his field and what he's done for the whole entire community. Thank you.